such as chewing, sucking, crunching, or tasting, those issues directly can be the cause of why you're unable to keep the weight off long term. So it's like no matter what system you do, at the end of it, you always revolt back during these periods of overeating or undereating, right? Because most people think, well, I don't overeat, I restrict. Well, that's the same yet different because you're still intentionally depriving your body of nourishment, which it requires to thrive, which goes against the exact definition of wellness. So even if your concept and your theory is I only eat 1 meal a day, I've lost 800 pounds, that's great and cool. But how do you justify the nourishment? How are you getting in 1 meal a day 90 grams of protein to 120 grams of protein, depending on your weight? Just answer that one question. Because the only way you're doing that, boo, is you got to be eating at least 4,000 calories in that 1 meal. Go do the math. In order to get 90 to 120 grams of high-powered, under-natured, not soy isolate protein in your body in 1 meal, that ain't a humongous meal. How? So what ends up happening is although the 1 meal a day is filling, it's not fueling. So although you're losing the weight, you may see a decline in your energy. And that's because some of the vitamins and minerals that you're in need of to thrive are low. Yep, malnourishment. Yep. So yes, the weight comes off, right? That's not what I'm arguing. And I always want people to understand what I'm saying. Remember, everything what I'm explaining goes back to three main concepts, which I strongly believe influence us, our ability to kind of break through this kind of obesity epidemic, right? The theory is malnourishment over malabsorption. Which are you suffering from? Because many of us are. It's just the truth. And then mindset is there. Okay. So when we look at those three things, it tells us a lot about A, B, and C. So absorption has a lot to do with how much of what you're actually eating is being absorbed, which then equates to how much you're nourished. So if I'm not eating a lot and I'm absorbing even less, then the likelihood of the primary nutrition I need is low. So my doctor may tell me, and here's what's so interesting about that. I go to the doctor knows you might have had surgery. So say you've had surgery, so the doctor knows you had to sleep. You go to the doctor, you're eating your 1 meal a day, and the doctor tells you you're low on vitamins and minerals. So then he goes and tells you, why don't you go get you some vitamins? So you mosey on to the store, you get your gummies, you get your liquids, you get all your different things. Here's my question for you. Honey, if you was suffering from malabsorption and malnourishment, did you get a new stomach at the vitamin store? Because the same stomach that could barely absorb your food is now struggling. See, that's why y'all got to ask more questions. So he done sent you to get a vitamin D pill, a vitamin C pill, some iron, and some biotin. But you said you were eating healthy, you've been doing everything, and you've been drinking these shakes, but all of those minerals and vitamins are still low in your body. But you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which could be a warning sign that, wait a minute, I might not be absorbing what I'm doing, but the doctor doesn't ask you any more questions. He just tells you to go out and go to the supplement store and buy $800 worth of vitamins. Or, of course, you run to Walgreens and get the cheapest thing on sale, which that is a whole other issue because you got to look at absorption rate, the capsules they're using, are they biodegradable, how often they degrade, what's the half-life and all that. But anyway, we won't even get into any of that. Let's just stay focused on what we're talking about right now. You let the doctor know I've been doing everything he told me, doc. I'm not really sure why my vitamin D, C, B, E, T, I, O, N, A, J is off. However, he then sends you on to your way. You go on to your way. You do your thing. I'm not judging you. Do your thing. I used to do the same thing. I'm just telling you it's based on not just my experience, but experience of over 15,000 women and men I work with. So here we go. So you go on about your merry little way. You head on over to the vitamin shop, the local safe shop. The local vitamin store. And you go on and try to grab you your ABCQ, and your ABCQDGEFAIC. Okay, you go buy all the different vitamins, and down on your counter, you look like the pharmacy section in Walmart, right? because you got a little bit of everything. You got 17 vitamin E's, 100 irons, 97 C's, 17 HER vitamin collagen nail peels. You got 27 scalp oil. So anyway, all I'm trying to show you is the pattern. It starts with our mindset. Now, just go with me here now. Just stick with me now. Don't leave me. If I wasn't absorbing all the nourishment that I've been sitting around eating for the last 6 months, and my lab still came back crazy, just go with me. Don't get anxious. Stay right here with me. Just tap the like button. If you're nervous, you ain't just tap the like button. Tap it with me, okay? Because I'm nervous. Hey, love bug. But if I was following your nutrition plan that you sent me to the nutritionist that told me to follow, and I've been following, and I done got labs that came back from you that says that my nourishment is low, that's not a me problem. That's a you problem, sir. You're not fully doing your job. But let me stop him right there. Let me educate him. Knock, knock, doc. Doc, why you sending me to the supplement store to buy all this stuff when I just told you I'm following everything you said? You said all my nourishment is still low. You don't want to check nothing else? The same stomach and the same esophagus and the same bowel movements and biliary tract system that's been breaking down the meal I've been eating on time, on schedule, on calorie, on everything that they suggested that I eat on, told you that I'm still malnourishment. But instead of you saying it looks like we need a malnourishment test, since it appears that you're following the system and the program and it's not working out. So something ain't right, because something might be wrong in your body, because you said you're doing everything you're supposed to do. And now my labs say that everything is low. That's not a you problem, boo-boo. You ain't done nothing wrong. Do you realize at that point the doctor should be more inquisitive about why a procedure that he told you was going to save your life and make you be healthier is making you sicker? Don't you think he should want to dig deeper? Well, he don't have to. I do. So then what I would say to him is, well, doc, I know you're telling me to go buy the vitamin E, the vitamin B. Tap the like button if I'm telling your story, if you can relate to what I'm talking about. I just need somebody to know if somebody was talking about. I wouldn't have bought the E, B, C, G, Q, F, and D. But doctor, if the stomach that was eating the nourishment wasn't absorbing the food, little baby, hi mama. If the stomach that was eating the wasn't absorbing the nourishment, is there also another stomach? Because the same digestive system that was following the very restrictive nourishment, caloric restricted program that he originally gave you. Follow me now. I'm trying to show you something, baby. Just stick with me for a few more minutes, and then we're going to do the reading. I'm going to leave you alone. But just tap the like button. I'm just needing to know if somebody know what I'm talking about, because I be on her talking sometimes. And when my live playbacks come back, I realize I'm talking to myself. So I'm going to stop doing that. So I ain't going to waste your time. You don't waste my time, okay? I'm just trying to ask you a question. If the same stomach that was struggling to absorb the very medication in the very food and program that he gave you, why would you then be able to go to the pharmacy? This is for all of y'all that do this. This is for all of y'all to become more educated about your body. Remember, I told you that's all I do here. If you came over here for something else, if you think we about to talk about surgery and VSG and calorie counting and all of that, baby, that's not what I do. I'm a mindset therapeutic wellness coach. I deal with the way you think about all of that other stuff. And then you don't need nobody program. You need your consistency. Because see, when you have consistency, self-belief, and discipline, you can follow any program and become successful. All right, we're going somewhere. It comes start to your mind. So you need a mindset program. Okay? But it needs to be specific to, what do we do here? Drop in the chat, family. What do we do here is specific to wellness, not weight loss. What we do wellness here. Weight loss is something that happens as a result of wellness. Say it with me in the chat. Weight loss is something that happens as a result of your pursuit for wellness. So stop jumping around hollering, I need to hurry up and lose weight, and focus on health and wellness. And I'm going to tell you why. Weight loss is imagery. It's an ideal you've created in your mind about how you believe you should look. That's where plastic surgery came from. And I'm going to tell you why. Just follow me. If I've never been a size 8, my goal to get to a size 8 is based upon the image that I've created in my head of what I believe a size 8 is going to look like for me. Nobody's ever showed me that that's what's going to happen. But I believe that if I do certain things, as a result, when I get down to 150 pounds, I'm going to be great where I am. The problem with that mentality right there is the evidence in which you're basing this inline on is, what's my favorite word? Awesome, which is Delulu. Here's why. You ain't never been down there, so how do you have an expectation of what it's supposed to look like when you get there? You ain't never been there. So what happens is we begin to get things like BDD and imagery issues. Our eyes start seeing things that aren't there. You know why? Because we had a mindset about a thing that was going to happen, and we wrapped everything we did around that thing that was going to happen. And then when that thing didn't look like we thought that thing should, it caused a sense of self-doubt, and we felt like we failed. Now, although we obtained such goal, while obtaining such goal, Cynthia, you're so welcome, my love. I'm glad you finally got it. While we're obtaining such goal, the problem is my ideal in my mind will cause me to become obsessive about my look, not my identity. They're not the same. They're not the same. They're not the same. The size of your arm is not your identity. The size of your ass cheek is not your identity. The lifting of your titties is not your identity. That's something you come up with. Thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia, thank you. That's not your identity. We're talking about your actual, what you see when you look in the mirror and believe is happening. Not your size, not your girth, your worth. Not your girth, your worth. Not your girth, your worth. Okay? So what happens is I've set my mind up to be at this certain point, to look like this certain thing in a certain way with a certain situation. And what happens is if it doesn't turn out like that, this belief system that I created around this imagery slowly begins to die. I go from being fully enthusiastic and all in for this goal, and I've reached this area, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. And slowly but surely, hey JFDHD, and slowly but surely, hey Bo, hey Susie, and slowly but surely, my faith in what I was doing slowly lessens. My consistency lessens. My choices lessen. My showing up for me lessons. And before I know, hold on, Miss Brown, I got you. And before I know it, with all due respect, how do you lose weight? I'm having bypass so much. Okay, guess what? I think everyone should do what they need to do, but I'll tell you what want you to do right now, Miss. Let me get your name. What's your name? Thank you for the follows, babies. I didn't see y'all, Kelsey. I didn't see y'all. I'll be in it, y'all. I think it was Miss Brown. Miss Brown. You having gastric bypass is just around the corner, so I'm not gonna tell you don't begin your procedure, but I'm gonna tell you starting right now, from this moment in this live, I want you, Z-Mac, hey boo, I want you to listen to what I'm about to talk about. Okay, so stay, and I'm gonna tell you why. What I'm about to talk about tonight is gonna help you go into this procedure with a better mindset. People do not fail at weight loss because the programs and diets don't work. People stop believing. People don't work. And the reason why I say that, we all know that if you starve enough, you lose weight. We all know there's enough fads, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that, fads, F-A-D. There's enough fads, gags, and all of that in the world for you to find to get the weight off. So it's not about can you get it off? Because guess what? The truth of the matter is there's hundreds and hundreds of ways to get the weight off. I promise you that. But to change your mindset and to understand why you are eating, when you are eating, and what you are eating is very, very important. It has urgency to your wellness. On top of those things, you then need to figure out, are you addicted to chewing, swallowing, or sensations on your tongue in the back of your throat, such as carbonation, hot foods, chewy foods, soggy foods? These all trigger sensations that are directly driven by your emotional center in your brain. The elation. Do you get extremely elated after depression if you eat a hamburger or a hot dog or a donut? What is happening to your body physiologically? Are you responding to what you're eating in your body? That's not normal. And I know some foods are aphrodisiacs and all that. But if a whole flaming hot potato chip and it needs to be the family size bag, you got to eat the whole bag. In order for you not to feel sad again, baby, we got to talk to somebody. Because that's not Pecos, that's you, boo. Because Pecos can't eat potato chips. It's a name to a disease. It has no arms and mouth. You do. The craving is real, but it's not the disease by itself. And so what happens, the other component to weight loss is that we often don't understand the full capacity of where we need to stand in responsibility of our body's condition. Because yes, we all size is not the issue. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about one's actual concept and understanding of what's happening to them. Do you understand what I mean? A lot of times we'll make we'll say, well, I know I'm an emotional eater. Well, baby, you know you can't go to the gym and cardio that out, right? You know you actually got to work on that, and that might take years. So that's why you go on a wellness journey, a wellness transformation, not necessarily a weight loss or a diet, because you don't want to die, you want to live. And because you want to live, you want to figure out why you're an emotional eater. But if you're not willing to pay an expert or sit with somebody to deal with why you ever became an emotional eater, how do you think you're going to heal from the ailment that's causing your waist to grow? All you'll do with the injection and with the surgery and with calorie restriction, with eating programs that restrict you, you realize that all you do is you quiet the beast basically. And the minute you no longer can follow that strategy, get that medication, or your mind gets weakened down enough from the urge and the crave, you will engage. You will, because it's in your brain. It's an emotional drive that's happening. And your body will become so uncomfortable and so dysregulated and unable to actually self-soothe from any of the tactics that you've been doing. And you'll have to either do, if you don't have prayer on your side when it comes to eating, you're going to eat. Do you understand? I don't care what you got. Just see it happen and not participate. Why do you think people who've been on the injection for 2 or 3 years tell you they had to switch or they stopped because it stopped working? And the sad part is the medicine only stopped working because you never did the work when you started the medicine. See, many of us have gotten this delusion that if we just eat once a day, the weight will come off, and that's perfect. But at what point are you training your actual body to signal your brain to cut on its natural metabolism on its own, non-dependent on anything? When are you going to do the work? The tool is great, but while you have the tool, you're supposed to be doing the work. That's why you do both. But that's not what we're out in these streets doing. We're out in the streets giving ourselves some psycho story thinking that it's going to fix everything. No, it's going to help you get to the finish line and you're going to fix everything. But what I've learned in my journey is if I don't got the power of God, I can't do this. I can't say no to the food noise when it gets really loud. I can't say no to the urges to stop at all the gas stations and get all my favorite snacks. I can't say no to Netflixing and eating. It's not Netflixing and chilling. Many of y'all need to stop saying y'all chilling, y'all chewing. It's Netflix and chewing, not chilling. So many of us need to stop Netflix and chewing. And I call social media Netflix because y'all watch it like episodes and series. Some of y'all sit on social media and scroll and eat. Scrolling is how you're disappearing from your everyday life. And the eating is how you're calming down the anxiousness, because instead of you going and doing what you need to be doing, you scrolling. Okay. We're on Uncover My Sins. Miss Brown, are you still here? We're on Uncover Our Sins. Okay. This is Dangerous Prayers by Greg Rochelle. We've been reading this book since January 1. We're deep up in it. We read a little bit every day. We respond to it. Cynthia, thank you so much. Lacey, thanks you so much. Anne, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all the likes. I definitely see them and I appreciate them. Thank you. Today we're going to talk about uncovering your sin, but I am going to go back just a little bit. I have about 20 minutes to get it done, so I got it. I just want to go back and remind you, we were asking God to do what yesterday? I even wrote it down. I brought my stuff. I'm in the building with my journal and my stuff. Remember yesterday I asked you to write down what you fear most. And I challenged some of you guys to write down specific things about what you fear about your weight loss and wellness in particular, so that we can help you learn, to help you pray dangerously and give this thing over to God. So that 2026 is the year that you just don't reach your wellness goals, but you reach a point and a prayer life with God that truly says not just whom you are, but whose you are. There is freedom and wellness on the other side of obesity. We don't just have to lose the weight and have a facade of somebody else. We can actually lose it, be healed, and be whole. And when we do that, we spend less time worried about what people think about our weight loss and wellness journey, and focus on just growing and being. See, if you notice, I don't spend a lot of time explaining or going into deep monologues about my journey. Because at the end of the day, it is my journey. And there is nothing you can say or do to affect what I need to be doing on a daily basis on my journey. Assume as you may. But baby, what we gonna do over here is pray. So I can't really worry about all of those things. I keep it very clear for me. I'm in a fight for my life. Food is trying to take me out every single day. I am at war. I'm a recovering food addict and alcoholic, and I'm at war with the addictions and afflictions of myself from the pain that has been sustained in my living. Do you understand what I just said? Food tried to take me out. I became so intertwined with the thing that's supposed to sustain me and keep me alive, to the point where I was willing to eat myself to death. Look at the photos. Take a peek. Don't get it delusional. I was willing, hey, Carol, to eat myself to death. Understand the brevity, the deepness of what I'm trying to explain to you. This thing is bigger than you. So what did I have to do? I had to at some point discover, uncover, and discard the belief that there was a self-will or a self-deal inside of me that can bring me out of what God was trying to show me. And he was trying to show me that without making him my God and not food, because that's what happens when food is your everything. You sleeping with it on the TV, you watching it on your phone, you driving, you going to every new restaurant. Your whole life is eating. Food is your God. You feel disconnected on your weight loss journey, it's probably because you come to a conclusion or to a fork in the road where you've realized food might be your God. I know the feeling. I've been there, still struggling. Carol, it's real. I'm so when I'm talking to people and I'm explaining where I came from, sometimes there's no words, because what I was feeling on the inside of myself with this thing, I needed somebody to name it. So when I was in therapy and she said, I think you're a food addict. And I said, huh? She said, yeah, the way you talk about food, it's like drug addicts do drugs. And I was like, oh my gosh, Groomy. And when I start putting the pieces together, hey, yo, I could directly see how I had lived my life chasing the drug, chasing the food, chasing it, making it my whole life. I used to host events, so food was always around me in a larger sense. I was always having something in my house. It's like I had catered my life around this lifestyle, and food was the guest. There always needed to be food at everything I did. If you didn't have food, I needed to be just stop and get food before I came. I know I was, and I stopped trying to do it myself, gave it up to God, and I knew I couldn't do it. Nope, it's not an alone game. This is not a self-deal game. We think it is. We think if I just go to the treadmill enough and I just cut enough sugars and carbs and fats and go to bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and don't eat through the night, I'm going to be okay. But baby, now it's bigger than that. Yeah, it's bigger than vegan. It's bigger than paleo. I don't care if you cut everything out and just drink air for the rest of your life. If you have an issue and an emotional bondage that is alive and well in your emotional center and your body, you need more than just a meal plan and a good friend, baby, and a gym routine to get free. I'm telling you this to be true. So while we're using our tools, Miss Brown, we work on our mindset. We don't wait to develop lifestyle strategies to learn how to go to sleep, stop staying up all night. Some of y'all got horrible sleep habits and wonder why y'all can't lose no weight. When is your body supposed to renew itself if you only sleep in 30 minutes a day? First question of the night. Let's go. Let's get into it. When is your body supposed to renew itself? Second question. What do you fear most? What do you fear most? What do you fear most that you are keeping from trusting God with? The last thing I read, it says, what you fear the most shows you where you need to grow with God. What do you fear? What are your anxious thoughts? What is God showing you? Where do you need to grow in faith? Trust Him. Hey, Joe. Hey, Jackie. It was yesterday's. Hey, Caitlin. Or Caitlin. Catline. Is it Catlin? This is yesterday's reading. Today is Uncover Your Sins 1.6 Dangerous Prayers. Here's what it says. I'm giving you your reading. Here we go. We got 4 minutes. Let's get into it and do it. If David's prayer hasn't seemed dangerous enough already, then I'd like to gently warn you. It's about to get even more intense. Welcome in, Liz. David was called a man after God's own heart. He was devoted to God's will and worshiped passionately, gave extravagantly, and led courageously. Yet, he still made mistakes. Big ones, like you and me. He was tempted to sin and didn't always make the right choices. Even after he knew the goodness of God and he had walked with him for most of his life, David still blew it. Hey, Aileen, search me, God. Know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me. Psalms 139, 23, 24. Show me, hey, NT, show me if I'm doing anything that offends or hurts your heart. Thank you, babe. Hearing God's response to this portion of the prayer can be challenging. It's not easy because most of us are masters at rationalizing our wrong actions. Oh, here we go. Are y'all tapping? I'm tapping the desk just with my nail like I'm tapping. Hey, Ma. Here's why I'm tapping. I'm going to read it again. Got 15 minutes. Hey, little baby. Hearing God's response to this portion, it says, show me if I'm doing anything that offends or hurts your heart. Hearing God's response in this portion of the prayer, hey, Linda, can be challenging. It's not easy because most of us are masters at rationalizing our own actions, our wrong actions. It's not easy because most of us are masters at rationalizing our wrong actions. Remember, I just talked about that. I just literally talked about that. I just talked about it. Okay. If you're like me, you're good at excusing others and equally good at excusing yourself. I can point out your faults, but have a perfectly good explanation as to why I do anything that you might consider inappropriate. I'm doing good at what Jesus warned against in Matthew 7:7. I can point out the speck of sawdust in your eye, all while ignoring, how tall am I, Coach? I'm only 5'2.5", 5'3". I can point out the speck of sawdust in your eye while ignoring the log in my own eye. How do you hear from God about any offensive way in you? He just tell me I'm being a mess. Hey, T-Boom. Hey, Bridget Lightner. He just tells me I'm a mess. God comes all out and just tell me use the hot mess express. Get on the train. Yep, God just comes out and just lets me know. Yeah, and I know that sounds crazy. Like I can hear God. He just tell me like I'll feel conviction immediately if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. I don't have to wait And then I immediately go to the people that I consult with, and I say, I feel this way about this. I said this and it made me feel funny. And I get their thoughts. Because if I'm out of line, I'm out of line. I don't need to justify. I need to correct it and grow from it. That took me a long time to get there. That didn't just happen overnight. Okay? Remember I told you I got on a couple layers, this jacket, a couple shirts. I'm starting to feel warm. Okay, anyway, I'm going to keep going. How do you hear from God about any offensive way in you? Let me suggest 3 things to consider as you are searching God's heart with this dangerous prayer. I'm going to give you the first one, okay? First, consider what others have told you about you. Is there any area in your life, in your habits, in your relationships, or your actions that others have suggested need to change? The answer is yes for me. I'm working on that. Is there some area in your life that is challenged by others? Have loved ones expressed concern for you or asked you to consider getting help? When I was in seminary and took a counseling class, my professor taught us a principle I'll never forget. She suggested if if more than two people that you love, trust, suggest you have a problem, you should recognize that you have a problem and deal with it immediately. We can agree. Hi, Miss Tucker. Her wisdom stuck with me through the years. As you ask God to show you if you have any offensive way, start with what others have mentioned to you. Is there something about your life that loved ones suggest is unhealthy or unwise? Maybe, hi Mildred, maybe some people have suggested that you play video games way too much. They are concerned that you have way more to offer, that you are missing out on more important things in life. Perhaps someone has suggested that you drink too much, or have a problem with pain medication, or overeating. If more than 2 trusted friends or family members have suggested this, maybe it's time to pause and pay attention. We're going to stop right there. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to finish that because it's a good part to keep on. Hold on, let me get this last part. Maybe you have had a bad run at dating. Your friends continue to remind you that you are always saying yes to the wrong kind of person. Rather than defending your actions, perhaps it's time to consider changing your patterns. In recent years, I finally had to pause and recognize something that was out of whack in my life. Several people suggested that I was a slave to my mobile phone. My wife, Amy, was the loudest and most outspoken. My kids' sighs and rolled eyes spoke volumes as well. Before, girl, just getting brighter every day. Oh, Hannah, thank you. Honey, thank you. I think it's Honey, thank you. Before I took their loving observation seriously, my defense kicked in. The expert rationalizer emerged. What I'm doing is important. To be a good pastor, I have to be available to people. I'm leading a church, and my opinion is important. My social media presence can be a good witness. I really need to see how my last Instagram post is performing to check to see if there are any comments needing my attention. You would think that hearing from Amy and my kids would be enough. But when a few people from the office mentioned it, my old seminary professor's advice started to echo in my brain. So I decided to pray. Show me, God, if there's any offensive way in me. Is this a problem? So that's what you're going to do. We're going to stop there. Okay, any questions on this part? Hi, Miss D. Any questions on tonight's reading? It's search me, know my offensive heart. I'm out here justifying what type of behaviors am I out here justifying when I know I need to get myself together? What am I doing that I know I don't need to be doing and I'm justifying it? How am I out here behaving that I know is not who's really me, right? What am I putting up with? What am I settling for? Ask yourself these questions. God, what am I doing things that's pushing you away from me, right? Am I living one life and then doing another? Am I praying to you about one life and then doing another? Like, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to ask these questions so that from these questions you can begin to see the paths and then work on them. Show me the offensive ways, God. Are these things a problem? Am I on social media too much? Am I losing time with my family because of it? Am I lacking motivation? Am I struggling mentally? Am I dealing with depression and ain't told nobody? Is something wrong with me medically and I'm hiding it? Like, ask yourself these things. Am I living an inauthentic version of my life and forcing others to participate in it? I challenge you to answer that question. And Coach will see you back tomorrow to do this thing again so we can win. Because it's not about the body, baby. It's about the mind. You get the mind in line and the body going to be fine. I'm telling you. Peep game. Just peep game. Just look. Just look. Just take a look, boo. And to all those on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook page, Facebook posts, and Facebook group, thank you so much for rocking with me. I appreciate you. I honor you. I know that this journey that you're on has, for some, it's been great. For some, it's been a constant up and down struggle. And I want to, hey, Tariq, and I want to tell you tonight that no matter how far down you feel you may have fallen on your journey, because it's a lifetime of experiences and a pathway to wellness, all you need to do is just get back on the path. Just get up and start walking again. You know, I always say, remember to fall on your back so that you can look up to get up. Because God's grace is in front of you, not under you. I mean, like behind you, like behind you. He's in front of you. So look forward, look up. When you fall down, look up so you can get up. And God will reach down and grab you up. So just know that no matter what it is, I know some of us have seen some of the darkest days while we've been on journeys to lose weight. And those dark days alone have caused us to overeat, to starve, to restrict, etc. But what I want you to know that no matter how far down you have fallen, the sunlight of the Spirit can help you get back up. All right?